we have a litter bug in the creek. Someone has thrown an oil tank. I think it's a 200-gallon plus heating oil tank into the creek. And let me show you guys it real quick. We had to get our neighbor in with a bobcat to get this out. It was on the other side of the creek, and all we saw of it was about that much of it. It had washed up against a tree in the creek, and the tree was acting like a filter and catching all sorts of debris and junk and stuff in the creek. So I went out there in my boat with a chainsaw and cut it up carefully. The water underneath the tree was anywhere from 10 to 15 feet deep, so I didn't want to go for a swim with this tree. This tank it's been here since last winter. It had washed up in a spring flood, so this maybe even, it was probably here a year at least. And it washed up against that tree, and I thought it was one of those little pools, a little kiddie pool or something, for kids. And, when you see it from a far distance away, you don't really know what it is. And neighbor had actually, he was shooting at it and using it for target practice. You can see a couple, those are 22, I think they're 22 long rifle bullets, but they're not holes. And he said, oh, it was metal. I was like, I wonder what that could be. So whenever I cleaned up that tree, I was sure that I would get this tank out of here. And it's about, well, I know this cart's about 6 or 6.5 feet long, so I'd say that tank is about 6 feet long, probably 2.5 feet wide, and maybe 3 or 4 feet tall. I mean, it's huge. Absolutely huge. It was full of water. Look, you can see the water line. So all I saw whenever I was dragging it over in the boat was this much of it. This whole, that was it. Little did I know there was another, I don't know, 5.5 feet down underneath the water. My brother had actually, we had tied a rope to it and pulled it across the creek because it was floating. And it was about 15 feet from the bank. And all of a sudden the tank was like this, and now it was starting to go like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that thing is longer than I think it is, because I know how deep the water is there, roughly, because I was in there with waders picking up another tree a little while ago, a tree branch that had fell, and I was really surprised to see how big this thing was. It has 4 legs on it. That one there, there's another one there, this one, and then there's another one. And then there's 4 fill holes in it. There's one way down there, this one that's open, and this one. So I suspect that someone has thrown this into the creek because it being open, and there actually was a little bit of residual oil left over in the tank that was just stuck on the inside. So when he came over, our neighbor came over with the bobcat, he was able to pull it out. We tried pulling it out with the Jeep, and it wouldn't pull it out. It just weighed too much. I think it was pretty full of sand and silt and stuff. So I plan on filling in the holes here, or the dents. I plan on welding 2 lifting hooks on here to make this thing easier for me to move. I want to flush it out, that hole there, and maybe even open up these other caps just to make it easier. So I'll flip this thing upside down and stick a hose or something up underneath those holes and just let it drain. And then I plan on painting it up. I don't know exactly what color to paint it. If you guys have any suggestions for a color, I would enjoy hearing that. I'm thinking white, maybe? I mean, white. I mean, it was originally, look, I mean, there's like 3 different paint colors. Look at this. We got the American flag here. Red, white, and blue. So I don't know. This tank is actually still in remarkably good shape. This was the end that was in the water. But that needs a good cleaning. And I've seen some on Craigslist where they have the They actually have steel pipes coming down from the legs, so I may weld something like that on there also. But boy, I'll tell you, it's a shame what people will throw away. You know, scrap is only like 8, maybe 10, 12 cents a pound. It's not worth me scrapping it right now. I think I'll weld those hooks on and maybe weld the pipe on the bottom and paint it up and probably flush it out and sell it on Craigslist. So we'll see. I've seen these tanks on Craigslist. They vary in price anywhere from $25 to around $350 each. So that's a pretty big span, and it is what it is. It is what it is. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. I've got lots of other videos that you might be interested in, and I'll see you in the next one.